Today I've got the latest interview with one of the candidates who hopes to be the next International Olympic Committee president. Morinari Watanabe is a totally unique candidate. He's the president of the International Gymnastics Federation, and recently, when he saw the press conference given by US President Donald Trump and the Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, he did not like what he saw. He immediately flew into Ukraine to meet with some of the gymnasts there, to sit and listen to them, to listen to their concerns. But he's also very keen to try and bring the warring parties together because he believes sport is that vehicle that can bring peace after war. It's one of his guiding philosophies. He also talks about the era of the West on the slide, the rise of Asia, and by 2030, he predicts it'll be the era of Africa. Here's Morinari Watanabe. Mr. Watanabe, thank you very much for your time. It was really interesting the other day because you were speaking to a group of the world's media with AIPS. And it happened not so long after the White House meeting between Volodymyr Zelensky of Ukraine, Donald Trump of the USA. And there was something about that meeting that touched you in some way, and you flew to Ukraine. And it is from there that you spoke to the world's media. Why did you feel the need that you should go there for that?
This is not a special case. You know, I went to the Rwanda, and when there is an earthquake, I went to the Turkey. I went to the Algeria. Every time something happened and athlete suffer, I went to there and with athlete and talking, and I'm always with you, and this is my policy, not special. Now, is after the Ukraine and come back to the FIG office, and many Russian athletes also, they want to ask me, so please listen their opinion. So that is also, I will plan to go to the Russia and hear their opinion, what I can support. This is originally is my philosophy.
And your philosophy is very much based around the original Olympic ideals about unity, global unity through sport.
Yes.
I wonder if you think the world is aware that that was how the Olympics were built. And I wonder if you think many athletes who compete at the Olympics today are even aware that this was the foundation stone back in 1896.
Is sports have more potential, make peace and contribute for the peace, and also for the contribute for the society. But if we say for the Olympic Games, it's from 1984, is come to the more business type. One day we must change this way for the, now it's more entertainment. But I talked in the press conference, the same, is gymnast start for the gymnastics, and they like for the gymnastics, and they are happy to see for the coaches very glad for my performance, and also my parents is happy for my performance, and also for the spectator is happy my performance. But one day is National Federation using this power is no, you must win to the federation. And the states say that you must get for the medal. And start for the populism. And the populism is more interesting for the entertainment.
Mm.
And people is very exciting for the populism. Like that. Maybe that is not, but for me, is current is why is world is divided is too much populism and sports become more mm, politics. That's why is one day we must, change for the right way.
Is it possible for sport to conduct itself free from politics? Just because of those very reasons you say. I mean, we all live somewhere. We're all part of a country and a political system. And we see more and more sport is used. A lot of people talk about, the soft power of sport, and you can use it for good, but that's still being used for political purposes, isn't it?
Always I ask for the IOC member, and also I visited for the country. So we must independent from the politics, and we must have a distance from the politics. Otherwise, why sports? But everybody say that it's very difficult, but almost impossible. They say that. But my thinking is, no, no, we can. We we because everybody say that because we get money from the state, we must get for the money from the country. That's why we need for the political power. But I don't think so. Get money, support from country, and what must independent from the political is that's why is now is in the FIG gymnastics start for the countermeasure for the aging society. With gymnastics, is elder people start for the gymnastics, is how can reduce for the social security cost. We start for the get for the evidence. If that come to the happen, we can say sports contribute for the society. That's why you must support for the sports. If we can get money, we can get support from government is take is we need for the support for the political power. But we can get, but we can return something. That's why if we can return and we can work together, is well, we can say for the independent and we have a distance from the politics. Example, another way also for the, is in the Davos Economic Forum, is make for the ranking, gender equality. Example for the gender equality, how is top is, I don't know, the North Scandinavia country, and like that is Japan is very low.
Mm.
If so that is Japan is very low, Japan start for the work for the gender equality ranking is grown. I told it for the IOC, make for the ranking for the country is how many percentage of the GDP using for the sports. Because sports can make a future country. If children start for the sports, they understand friendship and they understand fairness. They understand need united. Like that is that if come to the also for the courage and physical power, this can make for the good country.
Mm.
And also for this, is now world become half population elder people. aging society. Aging society, you know, medical cannot support, only give for the medicine. But if they want to keep for the health lifespan, they need sports. And that's why the country must invest for the sports. This is, not we are under the control of the politics. We are same position. They support, but we support. Like that position, so we have we can make for the independent is distance from the politics. IOC is more politics side. This is, I think that not good way. 1 second can change for everybody, cannot do, but it's step by step, we make for the decision independent from the politics.
Is part of the problem also that in today's society, we're so used to measuring everything in a dollar value. And sometimes some of these other aspects of sport and maybe the original foundations of the Olympic movement, you can't measure these things in a dollar value. And that makes it difficult, doesn't it? I mean, if somebody participates in sport or because of the Olympic Games, children in a family say, I want to do this now and I want to play like that person that I saw at the Olympic Games. You can't measure those sorts of feel-good, the energy of people that bring that kind of positive attitude to a society. Is that part of the difficulty?
No, sports is like pyramid, and Olympic is the top of the pyramid. And 4 years, one time, this Olympic game is one place, like France in the Paris Olympic Games, and very exciting. But after the Paris Olympic game, now everybody forget and wait for the Los Angeles Olympic Games. That's why is his presence of the sports is go down because this is like entertainment, not here after the Olympic Games. That's why is I propose is 5 continents at the same time is Olympic Games. Each continent is organized Olympic game 4 years, one time, and something we must contribute for the continent, society, and continue for the 4 years. If say that word is very difficult, but if come to the one by one continent, it's I think it's more easy. Is Olympic benefit can come to the many people, not only for the Olympians. And start for the sports can contribute for the society. If sports can contribute society, is presence is poor. This is my strategy.
It's interesting that you have this concept as part of your manifesto in hoping to become the president of the IOC at a time when it feels like the world is less friendly than it has been for a long time, and that people are shutting doors to other nations and other people more than they have done in the past few decades. Do you feel like you're working against a tide? This geopolitical frame that is happening at the moment?
Again, for me, is is always should be open the door for the Olympic Games. And maybe this is more easy understand. So far, is IOC lead, Olympic lead for the sports. But my strategy is different. If presence of the sports will go up, its Olympic value is go up. So that's why is if you want to sports presence we want to go up, it should be open for the many people, elder people. Now, so far we are very focused for the child and youth and Olympic Games, but also now is half population become elder people. Also, we must see what we can contribute for the elder people. Because, example, for the 2030 uh, Sapporo Olympic Games, who against, because the Sapporo finally they draw, they cancel for the candidate for the Sapporo City Winter Olympic Games. Who against Olympic Games is elder people. Young people, they will. We are thinking, oh, maybe it's, over the 40 years, people is they have a dream for the Olympic Games. They understand more for the Olympic game. Youngest is they are against, but the reality is different.
Mm.
Younger, they like for the Olympic game, but elder people is against because if such money, if there is such money, please support for our life for the, after retirement. Because sports, current situation, sports is entertainment. If entertainment is not necessary, but if sports contribute to society, sports contribute for the life of the people, it's, I think that will change for the situation. That's why my strategy is first upgrade for the, is sports.
Mm. When I asked if you would do this interview, I said to you I wanted to talk about sport and war and peace, because it was evident listening to you the other day and in your manifesto that peace is something that is very central to a lot of what you do and what you propose to do should you become the president. Is that because of the experience of Japan, the experience of your father during the war with the atomic bomb? Is that something that you've grown up with, those stories?
Yes. Also because why Olympic start and Olympic, if looking for the Olympic charter, is sports and peace. This is center of the Olympism. So that, we don't must close the eye. We must listen for the opinion. So how can contribute? And of course, difficult, very difficult. Is again, I many times listen from spoke with Ukrainian gymnast. They doesn't want for the training with Russia. But I told that to please understand, because Russian gymnasts, what they did, they didn't care for the people. They didn't have, they are from 3 years old start for the gymnastics, and one day is Putin start for the war. They cannot do anything. So that's why please understand. But they understand, but they doesn't want Ukraine. They doesn't want to understand. Because this is dilemma for me dilemma. And one day I visited for the mayor of the Hiroshima. Is I have this dilemma. It's why they doesn't understand. They doesn't want to understand because hatred is make for the new hatred. So this must stop. I told that, but they doesn't understand. And Mayor Hiroshima, no, Mayor Hiroshima said that it's Watanabe. Yes, logical is understand, but Hiroshima was the same. After the atomic bomb, 10 years, they hate.
Mhm.
They hate for the United States. But continue for the education, hatred make a new hatred. And continue. After 15 years or after 20 years, after 30 years, now nobody hate for the United States. Is that why the Watanabe-san need time, especially now during the war, is very difficult. But must continue. At how many years? We must discuss because every children is our children, not the Russian children, not the Ukrainian children. And we must discuss and we must study and maybe our generation cannot solve, but we must give the next generation what we did and what we tried, by what we success, but we not get success, but we continue work, not like wonderful, bravo, great, not, not the.
Yeah. So you were talking before about we can't close our eyes, we can't shut off our ears. We have to address these problems, and sometimes from the outside looking in, we're not sure whether the IOC addresses these sorts of problems behind closed doors, whether there is a healthy discussion around that, or whether this idea of political neutrality just means we don't even have to discuss problems because we're not going there. Can you give us any insights as to how the IOC thinks about these problems? Do they think about these problems in the same way that we might be discussing now? Or is it just, no, we're not going there because it's too hard and we can't fix it, that's not our responsibility?
I don't want, because I am IOC member,
Mm,
I cannot say
mm,
wrong for the current IOC. But normally, so we must show what is the problem, what we had problem. Of course, if nobody perfect, so that we had this problem and we can solve this strategy and action plan. This is normal. We must open. This is no normal company is doing and many organizations doing. Otherwise, we cannot get for the trust. This is my understanding. This is transparency. And, we show that only beautiful thing is. I think that people will not trust. What we have a problem, and what we will solve this problem is we must show this is transparency and this is get the trust by people. If I will be president, so I will do, and also listen from the media, his opinion. Because media is contact with many people, many opinion. You create, you correct it. That is important for me.
mm,
Bad news is for me is good news.
mm.
Good news is nothing. Good is this is normal. It's bad news. We must correct is bad news. What is wrong? What we did is doing for the mistake.
Mm.
After then we can get with the trust.
One of the things that you said the other night, which quite fascinated me, and I've been thinking about it since then, you were talking about, and I hope I'm paraphrasing you correctly, you were talking about the era of the West. And, right now it is the era of Asia. And next will come the era of Africa. Yeah. Just can you explain that a little bit more about your thinking around that and what that means for sport and the world generally?
I'm working in the company. That was already always is looking from the economic view.
Mhm.
After the 18th century, is Europe is go up and the United States is go up but is economic one day is come to the flat and not military big up. But now current situation is Europe is like that and the United States like that and Asia is war because with population. And 2030 is Asian population is go down, and African population is go up. This is turning point 2030. If come to the many population is economic will grown, and sports. I think the sports is same. Now is there is many population in Asia, and they have many talent athletes. And of course, before is no money for the investment for the sport, but now is many Southeast Asia is countries invest for the sports because sports have a give the power for the country. That's why they understand. That's why they give the invest for the many money. But one day is come to the it's, Japan same. It's economic is come to the front is stop for the investment for the sports. And the next is Africa will go up. And of course, now is a developing continent and developing country. That's why money is go to the developing country. And if developing country is economic come to the world, and especially I visited many African countries, they have many talent, athlete. And future, I think that this African athlete is really for the sports.
Mm.
But maybe not my generation, but we make for the step for the if African always I told this is world.
Mm.
Europe is developing to here now, and Asia now is here, and Pan American America Canada is good, but another is here, and Africa is here, and Oceania is also here, and we must invest to here this free space. If we put for the invest for this space and all continent grown, is world is grown. Is this is my strategy.
Your idea that we need to invest sport to lift
Mhm.
all of the nations
Mhm.
up to the same level
Yeah,
is not the way history teaches us that the world works. The world seems to work is if you have the power, you try to hold on to the power, and it's in your interest to keep others at this level.
sports is not power games. Something also, sometimes I'm very sad is like that sense there is power game. But Why start for the power games? This is, sports is to who mm, little okay, maybe little different. I will say I don't like for the judge because I was gymnast. I always hate for the judges because judges say that, oh, I'm judge. I give for the score. For me, is from when I was athlete, I don't like that because okay, we are athlete, you are judges, and we have a spectacle or organizer, and we make for the one big entertainment. Without that, of course, we cannot do performance. But also, if you not don't no athlete, you cannot you don't have a judging. And the same, is continental is same. If no Africa is not interesting. We need is a five continent, and we need everybody. So, and somebody said that okay, Watanabe is Olympian. Watanabe is not Olympian. I'm sorry. If I'm staying, I was born, it's your country. It's I went to for the Olympic Games,
Mm.
but I was born in the Japan. Japan is very strong for the gymnastics. Olympic is it's not fair.
Mm.
This is a fundamental principle, but we must be more fair. Little bit is cannot be everybody is equal, but we must support for the developing country, and that's why the 8 years ago I visited for the Philippines. I find for the good talent kids and go to Japan, send Japan, and after 8 years get for the 2 gold medals.
Mm.
This is good example. We must give the for the chance for the other country, and especially strong country must support for the developing country. I don't want this I don't want to say for the name, but new president of the state is our country is strong. I must understand like that is okay for the strong, but should be support for the somebody no happiness privilege.
Mm. So I've taken up a lot of your time, so I'll finish on this. One of the challenges that the IOC has been wrestling with is keeping the sport of boxing in the Olympic program. And you were chair of the Boxing Commission. And how is that going?
When I was a chair of the boxing task force for the Tokyo 2020, we don't have any program.
Mm.
Good working because I respect for everybody. I respect for the Russian opinion. I respect for the IOC opinion. I respect for the England opinion. I respect for the United States opinion. And the correct opinion is where the best position for the running is I did. That why it was no problem. Boxing should be in Olympic Games because of history and how many people is doing in the world. And poor or rich doesn't matter. When I was a boxing task force president, when I visited the country, It's always I visit for the boxing. They are not good condition, but they have a dream. Go to the Olympic Games and go to the professional. They have a dreams. We must protect their dreams. Is cannot say, from the sports is, what was your question is one person or one organization control is from top is you must do. This is not good. Sports is must respect even for the organization. We must respect each other and we must listen their opinion and make one team. The current situation is couldn't make that situation respect each other. But finally, it's a suffer athlete. That's why I hope those have a two organizations. They respect each other and they must talk together and they must make a solution. If respect each other is finally is can make for the solution. Of course, it's a leader, IOC. This is they must show for the leadership and not only this is not good. Sit down together and talk together. Solution must make a solution. This is always everything is my policy. Don't run away. Stay. Talk. What is the best version? Maybe today cannot solve it, but continue tomorrow. Okay, after tomorrow. This is most important.
Do you think we live in a world now where there's respect? I don't know, where respect has gone.
Respect in the boxing, you thought that.
No, I just mean in the world generally, like respect. It's now we have to pick a side and you're on this side and I'm on that side and I don't agree with you and you should be following my side. And respect has disappeared. We don't hear about respect like we used to.
Yeah, this is a common society, that way. That's why need sports. Sports, okay, fighting. But after fighting, we are shake hand and we are hug together. This is respect. That's why sports must developing more. Not only for the entertainment, not only for the show. This spirit we must share for the society. I think for the Thomas is make for the Agenda 2020. Before sports is an outsider, something or manipulate or something for corruption is a reality. This is what is here is on out of the table. And Thomas bring make for the Agenda 2020 and the integrity and also say that fairness or something is make for the on the table. But my vision is sports should be center of the society because now you say that the people is not respect each other. That's why we must teach for the kids for the must respect. And if kids is respect each other, is mama and father understand. Is they studied from the kids and respect each other. That the culture will start. This is that's why it's need for the sports in the society.
Morinari Watanabe, President of the International Gymnastics Federation and a candidate for the IOC President. Thank you so much for your time.
Toreshi-san, thank you very much. I'm pleasure, moment.